a lot of you guys asked about this car. This is a 2002 VW diesel. Now, I actually got this car for scrap, and I gave it to a local guy here in this town that wanted to derby it. His name's Cody. He did a great job at building it. He did a lot of research about it. He moved a lot of the wiring. He found out if you unplug the temp sensor, it automatically lets the glow plugs go on, so he bought a second temp sensor. He did a lot of research on this car, how to build it. And now this is a very bone stock build, but he did do a lot of looking into it. He actually joined a couple forums online to figure out what he needed to do to keep this thing running in a situation where it wouldn't want to run. And he got kicked out of 2 of them very fastly, but the third one actually was very helpful. I don't know the name of it, but he actually found it very helpful. He was able to delete a lot of the wiring and a lot of stuff like that. So I'm going to walk you guys through what he did, and then I'm going to tell you about the second run that this car had. So the first thing he did was he did a intercooler delete system. So the intercooler should be right around here. He did a delete system where it came straight down into the turbo, which worked great. It did blow apart in the heat, but he did fix it with a beer can. So it shows you can do anything with a beer can. He was a little nervous about everything up front, but it seemed to work out. They ran the stock bumper the first time. Second time, it's a W-body bumper on it. I believe it's a Grand Prix or something bumper. It went really good first heat. He didn't even run donuts. Back end was actually pretty stout on this thing, and even after the second run, the speaker deck is still pretty good. Like, the car really didn't come in that much. Now, mind you, this is a very stock car, and it did run stock shows. The guy that ran it the second time told me that he did take a pretty bad driver's side shot, and he was nervous that he broke an axle, but the strut's not bent, the axle's not bent, the frame is swayed pretty hard, but everything held together. All right, so the first run was mostly a mud run. He went into the finals and got DQ'd for a driver door shot, and in the heat he did have the turbo piping blow apart. So the first run was a little bit of a softer one. Second run was still a muddy track, but there was a lot more cars. I believe there were 17 cars, and he actually took this thing to a second place finish, and the only reason he stopped running is because he ran out of battery. Car kept running. As soon as we hook a booster cable up to it, started right back up. So as a motor, I was actually pretty impressed. I didn't know how this diesel would actually hold the heat, but it seemed to do pretty good. The second time it was ran, it only had looped lines. So it's not like it had a radiator. It probably ran for about 5 minutes before the derby because they had a little bit of a delay. And then it did the whole derby, no problem. It did blow up near the end, but it blew the cap off. The only downside to them is where the oil filter is an injection pump, so that's something you always have to worry about on these. The motor mount did get a little bit damaged, but it held together. Even this one is actually holding together pretty good for aluminum motor mounts. Frame did sway pretty hard, but I did talk to him, and he told me that he had a great time in it. He said that the manual is a little bit of a downside because of where first and reverse is, right? So it's not your average car, a little bit different setup, but it still runs, it still drives. I'm having a buddy come over that needs a derby car, and I'm gonna either offer him the VW to run again, or this Corolla, because he's a buddy and just needs a car to run at a local derby. Both of them need a little bit of work, but I'm gonna see which one he wants. So this car might even get a third run. As for the fuel system, it's got a suction up here at the motor. So realistically, there's no lift pump. So it's just, he put the factory pump inside this tank, but it's just honestly a pickup and a delivery return. There's no pump in this tank at all. It's all mechanical, so you don't even have to run any wiring to the tank, which is a kind of a plus. But he was overall impressed with it. Both of them were actually overall impressed with it, and they want to try to run another one. They said if they found one, they wouldn't just scrap it. So a lot of you guys have been asking about it, so here you go. And there's nothing so cool. When I was in the ring with this car, all I could hear was that turbo driving past me inside the ring. And I've never heard that in the ring before, so that was pretty cool. But these guys both say they'd run it again. So you know what? That's the aftermath of the VW diesel. I didn't think that I'd ever see one of these actually run in the ring. But I was happy to actually have one and give it to a couple local guys to get them in the ring and have fun. So if it runs again, I'll let you guys know. Probably film it because I'll be going to the event if this thing does go there. But Thanks for watching, guys. If you got any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll try to get them answered for you. I can contact the builder of it and the second driver, and hopefully I can get any questions that you guys have answered. Because you know what? You guys always tell me you want to see other cars than Camrys, and this is definitely a different one. You don't see a lot of VWs. So, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you back here tomorrow.